Are you deaf, Sultan? This area is off limits to civilians. Get out. That's what Colonel Holt barked at me, his voice echoing so hard in that hangar you'd swear he owned the air itself. But I just kept walking, calm, boots scuffing against the concrete, eyes fixed on the main gate like nothing and nobody could shake me. You know, the weird part is with all the high-tech paranoia on that base, the alarm should have been blaring. Instead, every security door slid open in front of me, lights blinking green, and then this cold, perfect AI voice just rings out, "Welcome, Commanding Officer Avena Sultan." That's me. You could see Holt's face go ghost white, like he'd seen a dead woman walking. I peeled off my glove slow, showed him my titanium insignia, that DoD crest shining like a warning, and in that instant, everyone realized the woman they just tried to throw out was the new CO of Horvath 7. Let me back up a sec because, I'll tell you, that first walk through the main gate set the tone for everything that followed. Horvath 7's not some small-town airstrip, it's a steel fortress buried in the desert, under a sky so empty it'll swallow you if you stare too long. I was carrying this battered old satchel, heavy with classified files, nothing flashy about my flight suit. Either, just plain, no patches, no rank. To the guard at the checkpoint, I was nobody. And then here comes Major Kyer, thorn real piece of work, wiry, a grin that tells you he never thinks he's lost an argument. "What's this, Sultan? You get lost on your way to a costume party? That flight suit's older than my car." The guards chuckled like a sitcom audience. I didn't bite. I just set my satchel down, unzipped it, and slid out a single paper DoD seal shining under the lights. Kyer just laughed. "Paper doesn't mean a thing. You don't belong here." Next up, Lieutenant Ressa Kaur, all crisp uniform and eyes narrowed like she's expecting me to whip out a fake ID. Ressa grew up on stories about meth pilot who disappeared in Syria, but right now, she's not buying the myth. She picks up a badge that fell from my bag, turns it over, all sarcasm. "Nice work. Looks almost real." Tosses it back, barely making eye contact. I just said, "Call the commanding officer." "Calm." Didn't ask. Told. Then Holt comes down from his control booth, boots pounding the floor, voice sharp as barbed wire. "I'm the commander here, and you're violating national security." Tells his guys to search my bag. They tear it open, yanking out folders stamped classified, and a photo slips out, a grainy shot, me with blood on my face, dragging a soldier out of a wreck in the desert. One private stares at it, like maybe he's seeing the truth, but nobody else notices. Holt grabs my satchel, rifling through, jaw set, veins showing in his neck. "You've got 10 seconds to explain why I shouldn't have you arrested." I didn't blink. Check the biometrics. Just that 2 words in the whole room sucked in its breath. Holt tries to play it off, slamming the red override on the gate console, pretending the scanner's broken. Standard protocol physical detention until identity is confirmed. He bluffs, daring anyone to challenge him. It's a coup attempt, plain as day, but everyone's too scared to say it. So I just walk up, eyes locked on his hand, thumb white on that red button. Didn't challenge, just stood there, silent, exposing how desperate he was. The tech Lyra, I learned later, looked like she wanted to sink through the floor, realizing this wasn't a malfunction. It was sabotage. I waited, holding the moment so tight you could feel it snap. Finally, Holt nodded fine. "Scan her." The screen lights you access granted, command level A1. The tech jaw drops. Kyer backs up, muttering, "A1? That's commander level clearance." Holt looked like he bit into a lemon. I didn't give him time to recover. "Commander Avena Sultan, Department of Defense." Said it so quiet, but it hit like a hammer. Before anyone could catch their breath, the big screen flickered General Corvin Vale himself. "Report to her directly, Holt." That's an order. Just like that, the air in the hangar thinned out, everyone looking at me, the ghost who was now running the whole show. Later, in a packed briefing room, Holt tried to put on a show of strength, arms crossed, voice pitched, so everyone could hear, "I don't care what Dodi says." Missing in action doesn't mean you get to walk in and take my base. Kyer jumped in. "This isn't a PR stunt, Sultan. We need real soldiers, not some poster girl for recruitment." Laughter, sure, but it died when I said, "I wrote the tactics manual you're holding." Room went quiet. Kyer's face turned red. That's when Finn, a nervous junior officer, stood up, shaking. "Sir, if Commander Sultan's MIA, why is the latest update to the Phoenix Cipher Core encryption flagged under her name?" He holds up his datapad, screen glowing with my name. Holt stammers, "That's just a placeholder me protocol." Finn's not buying it, pointing out only someone with level 9 security deactivated for Holt months Agacall V touched it. That landed like a punch. Suddenly, the room realized if Holt was lying or if I'd really been running the base from the shadows. Either way, everything was about to change. Now, Ressa had idolized me growing up, but rumors can poison anybody. During the briefing, she stands up, holding a report, voice shaking but sharp. "This says you abandoned your squad." How do we trust someone with a record like that? I didn't stand, didn't shout, just said, "Read the report again." All of it. Ressa hesitated, thumb shaking. Holt tries to seize the moment. "I'm filing to suspend you. This base won't be led by a ghost." Next morning, the base's newspaper is splashed with my photo shady past, big bold letters. I found it lying open in the mess, didn't pick it up, just sipped my coffee, let the whispers roll right past me. You think people like that would get tired of trying to push you out, but it's like oxygen to them. In the middle of all this, a young Officer Silas found me on the flight line, clutching this old leather notebook. He blurts out that 5 years ago, Operation Skyfall Big Rescue, the one hole got a Medal for new, and everyone knew it was my plan. My initials on the field logs, my fuel calculations, my route. Holt locked the data, erased my name, and built his career off it. You could hear the shame in Silas's voice, but also relief, like he'd finally set a bone that had been broken for years. I just did no drama, just a quiet promise I'd carry that truth forward. But Holt wasn't done. He started undermining me in secret, ordering his loyalists to ignore my commands during a live simulation. Planes off course, comms scrambled, targets missed. Then, as if by magic, a transfer order lands on my desk, says I'm being shipped off to a snowbound weather station. 48 hours notice. Kyer hands it over with a nasty grin, waiting for me to break. I didn't pick it up, just told him his paperwork was sloppy, quoted the regulation. You should have seen his face when he realized he'd handed me the evidence to take his whole career down. After that, things spiraled. They tried to confine me to an office while they investigated my leadership. Rumors everywhere, soldiers whispering, a few staring with wide eyes. But, sometimes when everyone else looks away, one person steps up. Jax Orland, radar tech, glasses always sliding off his nose, came to me with security footage. Showed Hole and Kyer plotting to make me look incompetent. I didn't say thanks, just save the file. Jax later took me down to the server bank hold, humming, wires everywhere, and pointed out a hidden module rigged to sabotage the drills, a go signal that could have fried the reactor if I hadn't called it off. That was more than petty politics that was playing with lives. I didn't blow up, didn't storm the control room. I called for an emergency Red Phoenix drill. Holt couldn't refuse. Sirens at dawn, jets in the sky, every system under stress. And predictably, the system went haywire, disaster everywhere. Holt tried to pin it on me, but I tapped the console and let the whole room hear the recordings, changed the flight paths, make it look like her plan failed. His own words caught on video. You could feel the floor drop out from under every officer in that room. Holt tried to claim it was fake, but I followed up with financial records, purchase orders, serial number for the sabotage hardware traced straight back to Holt's account. Nobody had anything left to say. After that, it was open war. Holt and Kyer leaked to the press, call me a reckless fraud. Special committee, disciplinary hearing of works. Kyer, desperate, tried to force Ressa to plant forged data on me, blackmailing her with threats about the old Syria mission. Ressa, stuck between saving herself and betraying the woman who'd saved her life, stood frozen, clutching that USB stick, the whole world closing in. It's always that one moment. What do you do when nobody's looking? Day of the hearing, I walk in satchel in hand, flight suit clean, head high. Holt and Kyer screaming vendetta, lies. I didn't say a word, just plugged in a hard drive and let the footage roll. Syria, helicopter burning, me hauling soldier after soldier from the wreck. 12, in all the last one. A young woman bleeding out was Ressa herself. You could hear a pin drop. I didn't abandon anyone. That's all I said. General Vale appeared on screen, confirming everything Red Phoenix drill, the sabotage, the classified missions. Ressa stood up, sobbing, admitted she'd been wrong. Holt's petition shredded. Kyre's career gone in a heartbeat. Still, at the final hearing, some old generals couldn't let go. A woman can't lead a war. It's about endurance. Holt, seeing his last chance, tried again. The military won't bow to a girl. But then the president's face came on, steady as granite. Effective immediately, Alvena Sultan is promoted to brigadier general. That was it. Holt slumped over, broken. Kyre couldn't even lift his head. I didn't look back, didn't celebrate. Just walked out, new insignia glinting in the sunlight, my silence saying everything that needed to be said. Justice doesn't always come with a parade. Sometimes it's just a room full of people realizing the truth at the same time and a couple of bullies left sitting in their own shadows. Hull was discharged the next day. His name erased. Kyre's friends disappeared. His sponsors dropped him. Ressa stood up, asked to be transferred, wanting to start over. Jax, the tech, caught my eye in the hall and gave me a quiet smile, like we'd both survived something nobody else would ever really get. I didn't stop to party. I walked through that base now, my base satchel over my shoulder, every salute a silent apology, every step a little lighter than before. I'd been doubted, mocked, betrayed, nearly erased, but I stood my ground, every step, every word, every look. And now the truth was out for everyone to see. You ever been looked down on? Judged for how you look, where you came from, the stories they think they know? You know what that weight feels like, how hard it is to keep your head up. But if Avena's story says anything, it's that the truth always finds a way. If you've ever carried that weight, you weren't alone, you were never wrong to keep fighting. So where are you watching from? Drop your story below. Tell me what justice looks like to you. And if you've ever stared down a room full of doubters, walk with me. This journey's not over yet.